What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank, and today I'm going to use this map to to reorientate your mind. Okay? To reorientate your mind. Okay? And the reason why I have to do this because I don't see it being done systematically in the the pro-black movement. I don't see it being done at all, really. I mean, I've seen a few people try to do it, but not enough to where it's gonna penetrate, the lexicon of black folks. So I'm gonna attempt to do it right now. And this is about the religious. This is about religion, versus reality, right? Religion versus reality. For the most part, religion is a human-made construct that we use to explain what the unexplainable, or to explain what we believe is happening, right? What we believe is happening in the world, right? So most of this is one form or another form of sun worship, all right? And all the gods represent, solar, planets and such. It's all just a reinterpretation of the actual science that we are now getting, we're getting better at understanding right now. It's just that we have gotten so far into the story, we gotten so far into the allegories, we gotten so far into the exaggerations, and so far into the elements of control, and just the various different, reasons we humans do what we do. We've gotten so far into it that we literally forgot what it is that the origins of these things are, what it was for, right? Sun worship. We were just basically human beings trying to figure out what it is going on right here, right? So when you look at all the old religions, right? And you compare that to the science that we use today to try to also explain, where we come from and who we are. All of it, despite its many differences, all of us are saying practically the same thing, right? All of us are saying that we're here having some sort of experience, either learning a lesson or doing something, right? Or experiencing something, but we are all from, there is another place that's not here that we are ultimately from, that we are all eternal at some point somehow, right? Like in the big, if you back all the way up, that's pretty much what we're all saying, that there's this place and then there's another place. We're all just fighting for what that other place is, what the names of those other places are, and how do you get to those places, and who are the special people who have special access to those places, or is it that everybody, no matter what, also equally have access to that place? So we try to answer that question, various different ways as human beings, right? But this is what I want to show you with this map. Okay? Now, when black people say they are the Jews, right? I hate using the word Jews. I hate using the word Hebrew Israelites. Those are all white European names, right? And because we have no choice to speak English, the best we can do is at least get the names, try to use the authentic names to reorientate our brains on things. Because right now we continue to use Jews. We're walking around calling ourselves Jews or Hebrew Israelites. And we're all looking at this area, right, as if this is the actual place, right? That's what we're looking at, as this place right here. But think about this, guys. Right now, there's only evidence of a place called Israel in some part of a scroll that may be interpreted as Israel, found here in Africa, all right? If you really dig into the actual documentation of a place called Israel. Israel is supposed to be a group of people, right? Not a place, right? And that is the truth, right? That's why there's this whole story why this place is not supposed to be there, because it's not a place, it's a group of people. It's a group of nomadic tribes, right? Nomadic tribes, right? Now, as I told you in the video before, most nomadic tribes throughout this area, right? Through Asia, Afghanistan, you know, through the points of trade which African people created on the way out of Africa, most nomadic tribes who were in the business of transporting goods from point A to point B. They were the business people. They're the ones who were the African nomadic tribes would meet the Asian and the Southeast Asians and the Northeast Asians and the Europeans. This is where everybody met. This is why everybody's blended. Right? These are the first mixed people, are a result of the trade. This is where everything went through. This was the highway, the connection to everybody, right? That's what this was. That's why everybody looks this way. That's why everybody clashes right here, right? But the thing is, the story itself is really a story about these people, right? These people. So when the Jews say people keep saying that we are the Jews, right? The people, we are the Jews. We keep using that term Jews. And then we look at America and how African Americans have been brought over here. You know, we're also part of the population of right here who are tribes that supposedly, you know, we like to say they come from way up here. Or we always say they're the Jews, right? But we say it from a European perspective. Right? And we're using European terms, and we're also using European culture, right? That they took themselves already to wrap up their group of people they like to call the Jews, right? And we wrap our bodies up around in their cultural clothing and traditions and even their religion they created based off their manufacturing of what everybody calls the Jews now, right? And the area and the traditions, right? But here's the thing, guys. This is it right here. Let me show you something. Even the map is wrong. This is how you're supposed to actually look at Africa. This is the correct orientation of Africa. We reorientating ourselves today. Okay? This is the orientation of the planet. This is it. We are up top. They are at the bottom. It's cold down there. We are at the top. Nice and warm up here. All right? This is how it really is supposed to go. But white supremacy goes deep, guys. When you control the institutions that manufacture all the stuff and control all the information, they can show you this, right? They'll show you this. How do I turn this thing around? Oh, I can't do it this way. They'll show it to you like this, right? They'll make you think Greenland is that big, right? They'll make you think Europe is that big. They'll make you think Africa is only that big. They'll make you think all of that is that big. But even this map is distorted because Europe is much smaller than this. Europe is much small. This thing right here is much smaller than what you see here. Greenland is not that big, guys. It is not that big. Africa is way bigger than what you see here. All right, way bigger, all right, and that's why, and in reality, they got to sail around all of this, even though this don't look like it's the right, this ain't the right size. This is absolutely not the right size. But in real life, when you got ships, you got to sail around the real size. That's why this area is so important to get your goods from point A to point B. That's why we always fighting these nomadic tribes, these people who take things from point A to point B, because the only people who battle people who take things from point A to point B are people who make their money from taking goods from point A to point B, right? It's about money. This is about money It's about not going all the way around Africa. But here's the thing about the whole Jew thing, and that's why I hate the fact that we continue to use these European terms. We should not. Nothing about us is Jew, but the story itself has roots in possible. It has some something to it, right? Because when you look at the map like this and understand that they picked this area to be Israel. This is not. There's no proof or historical anything that this area was the place where all that stuff happened. In actuality, the story happened here. The story happened here. This is an African story that Europeans took, changed the names of places. They took it and changed the name of places. That's why if you look at all West African and East African and Central African cultures, their cultures and actual practices and the stories, the historical stories of what these people been through during the time frames matches up to pretty much every one of these Abrahamic religions that were manufactured by these people. Right? Egypt was much bigger. You see how they keep trying to push this closer and closer over here? Egypt is much bigger. What they call the Ethiopians is much bigger. What they called the Moors was much bigger. You see, if you go back in history, these people will tell you down the Mediterranean that Egypt, the Kemites, the Moors, the Ethiopians, they considered all of this. That was interchangeable, arguably interchangeable, to be meaning any of these people. Just like we say the word black, African. Just that is the same thing. All these words to describe an African, a group of people, all the mountains in the Bible you can find here. Keep in mind, look at the map. Lakes, rivers, that dark spot, those are lakes and rivers. It wasn't a desert all the ways. It wasn't always a desert. There's history here. There's kingdoms. There's castles. There's whole civilizations in this desert that's just being discovered that rival what we see in Egypt, in Sudan. There are pyramids. There are structures here that you don't even know about while they're in here digging it up. There are super highways with wells to feed water, to feed the camels on the way here that they found in here, that they discovered. We Africans are geniuses. That's why they don't want us to know who we are. Because all the evidence is right there. It's not hidden. The only thing hidden is our ability to go get it, to seek it out, to accept African scholars. You see, there's a whole wealth of African scholars here, African historians here, and African libraries here. We remember we're the ones who manufacture books over here. This is Africa. We have the knowledge, but it's been suppressed and stolen by the Europeans. That's why they keep it in their museums. They don't want us to know it. All these people got the information. You want to talk about nomadic tribe? Who are the experts? Who are the experts that walking around the planet? Who? Look at this. Look how big, if you notice, look how big. We had kingdoms here. Metropolitan areas, metropolitan cities, kingdoms. We traded with each other. Look how vast of a distance we walked. Look how vast it is. We all intermingled here. Intermingled. All of our kingdoms and cities knew of each other. Had dignitaries. Had sporting events. Had jobs in metropolitan areas, cities. You think we couldn't walk up here? As small as this place, as small as Europe really is, it's not even as big as it is. But look at Europe. If we just fit all of that, you think we didn't come down here and contribute to their society? You don't think we did that already? That's why they got all of our stuff everywhere. So when you want to go back and talk about the original people, where some people who did some things and had some special people, they were actually talking about these people. These are the stories of African tribes and kingdoms, in their relationship with other African tribes and kingdoms. That's why there's no European people in the Bible. Everybody knows that. They're all here. That's why they all happen to study here, all the kings from here. That's why they want you to think of Ethiopian as just one small little group. But this Ethiopia that we see here, this Ethiopia and the Ethiopia of the past is two different places. Two different places. That Ethiopia was huge. This Egypt was huge. Sudan was huge. Right? Egypt said that they had two coasts. They had two coasts. Huh? Y'all forget West Africa is also part of North Africa. When we say Northwest Africans, guess what? South Africans are also West African. They're also South African, but they West African too. That's why South Africans and Nigerians are so similar, and everybody in between. The story is about us. The trick bag, the big trick is everything is about us. Everything. But we got to start using our actual African names because we know what they are. They're African names, African kingdoms. We're not no Jews. We're Africans. We're the Igbo. Huh? Everybody should stop saying Jew and just start saying Igbo. Igbo. You know how Islam, you think Islam, or what we call Islam, mysteriously just ran through Africa through a war? It wasn't all through war. It was through familiarity. What we call Islam now was something else before. It was something else before. It's been perverted. But it was something that was already inherent in these people. It's still African. All of it is African. It's all just been perverted by these people over here. They took it, stole it, renamed everything, reoriented everything to have you looking at the center of everything to be right here. From a group of people that's from up here that have their own traditions, their own Norse traditions. Even these Greeks gods and the Roman gods are just European interpretations of the African gods. And the African gods, which are the Egyptian and Nubian gods, are the same gods that all the rest of us Africans have in our different pantheons. Like the Orishas of the Yoruba. Huh? So, I just wanted to use this map to let you know we're not the Jews. We are the Igbo. We're the Yoruba, the Akan, the Dogon. That's who we are. Those are the tribes. That's the tribes we should take pride in and orient ourselves. That's us. Huh? That's us. That's what it's all about. And that's in real life, in the real world. And these people are gonna do everything they can to hold on to their fantasy. They will fight and kill and die for it. They'll do everything they can to hold on to this geographically convenient location. That's understandable. But it's our job to reorientate our minds to the truth. Right? And when we think about who we are as the lost tribes and all the different perversions that we gravitate towards, whether we're Christian, Islam, or Hebrew Israelite, or whatever, or Nuwabi, whatever hybrid mix of some European perversion of what it is that was just simply African culture and African history. You understand? I hope you guys understand what I just said. So, first we have to know thyself, right? Know thyself and call thyself what we are. Start respecting our ancestors and our actual history and culture, and start using the correct names and terms and orientations, wearing the right clothes and patterns, and praising and orienting your eyes and your focus and energy on the right areas, instead of fighting, killing, and dying and arguing for other people. who are just arguing over stolen things from us. Anyway, that's all I got to say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.